Hello, I'm Irene.
And I'm Christina, and this is Zen and the Art of Inventiveness. Today's podcast is taken from an interview with the playwright Ali Williams, who is due to appear in her one-woman play, Careless Talk, at Tunbridge Wells Fringe. We loved how open she was to what she didn't yet know about her current project. We talked to her about how we set up our daily routines to be more open to innovation, the role of creative notebooks, and finally, how mindfulness can help with self-discipline and, most importantly, with friendliness to oneself. At the end, she gave us clear advice about how not to get in our own way with both mindfulness and creating. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we wanted to talk to you about your creative life, your innovative life. Small topic. So would you tell us first about what creative thing you're working on right now?
So right now I'm working with two other women on a project about menopause, which we're calling Fannying About because it just made us laugh.
Yeah.
And we don't know what it will be yet. I'm working with two actors and improvisers. And actually, at the first rehearsal that we had, one of them brought her dog, so we might have a dog in it. I don't know. So working on that.
Great. And over to you, Irene.
I find it fascinating that someone brought a dog. I would love to know the dog's contribution, because I wonder if they're very healing animals at a time when we go through such enormous change, or after that.
Oh, that's really interesting. Well, definitely Maud brought her presence to the room, I would say, and she was. Yes, you're right. There's a real sort of distraction and a focus, and that sort of those big eyes looking back at you. Yes.
And was it a girl dog or a boy dog?
Yes, it was actually. It was a lady dog. Yes.
Wonderful.
A lady dog in elder years. So
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. So my second question was about your daily routine. How does that pan out? When maybe, when you are in the flow, when things are going well, and maybe if not, when things aren't. I don't mind either.
Sure. I have the same routine whether things are in the flow or whether they're not. And I do yoga first thing.
Yeah.
And I do the odd class where I might injure myself because I'm in a room of people who are much younger and more flexible. So I think I can do that. And then I'm sitting in the priority seats on the bus on the way home, thinking that was a bit far. So I might, the next day my yoga practice might take a very different form, my personal practice, because when I'm injured, I think my body's already doing yoga. But the breathing I find really helpful, and I've got different routines that I do. So, and I mix them around. So I did yoga teacher training in lockdown, as I know a lot of people did, and I think I'm the only person that came out of lockdown, the only woman to come out with a dirty oven, because I didn't do my own yoga teacher training. And I just found it very helpful with a health condition that I continue to have. It's made a world of difference to that. And there were other benefits that I just hadn't foreseen. And I very often start off thinking, oh, God, I'm not in the mood for this. And then, I typically would do about 35 minutes, but if I'm in a kind of my head's not in it, I'll do 15, and then I might continue, and it always turns it around. And I also have headaches regularly. And I found a yoga routine that deals with my headache. It's a 23-minute routine. I do it from online, and that's been a game changer for me. And I've even sat in bed thinking, I've got one of these headaches, I don't feel like doing this, but when I do it, it works. And if it doesn't work, I do it again, and it works. Or I can do a 20-minute, try different types of breathing for 20 minutes. So yeah, so that's my daily routine. And in terms of kind of trying to be productive, I I work, when I'm working in a creche, I don't have any time to myself, so I'm kind of there from dawn to dusk. So I don't expect to kind of come up with anything. But I usually have a little notebook in my pocket so that if something did come to me, I could jot it down. Um, and I keep a notebook by the bed just in case in the middle of the night the voice of genius strikes.
Yes.
But it's so funny that when I write things down in the middle of the night and I look at them and, well,
Oh, yeah.
it's great. At 2 o'clock in the
I know.
morning, I think this is it.
This is the answer to everything.
And in the morning, if I can read it, it's great. But sometimes I think, what was I even thinking? But I try and diarise a time when I might work on my projects.
Yes.
Yeah.
From our listeners' point of view, the concept of having an artist's diary is incredibly good and incredibly important, and not everybody thinks of it. To just have a tiny little notebook with you, where when inspiration strikes, to write it down. And,
or draw it.
Or draw it, yes, absolutely. And
that's really good.
or cartoon it. Sometimes it's lovely to do a little cartoon to capture something. I mean, I think that we don't do that enough. I sometimes carry something, like a little journal with me, but when I've got a really good idea, I don't write it down. And you're very right. Sometimes you look at it later and you think, how could you think that something so trite is interesting? But other times you find there is an absolute gem there. So it's a bit hit and miss. And, I think we should capture them all.
Do you write daily?
I don't write daily. My routine is that I strike off 1 or 2 days per week and I write continuously.
Wow.
And I tend to clear things from those 2 days. And I try to have them consecutively, and sometimes it doesn't happen. So it may be like a Monday and then a Friday or whatever, or a Saturday and a Sunday or whatever it is. But that's my routine. Yeah. Clear time. How about you, Christina?
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. Maybe I'll try it. I have a diary, which is I just put down what I would like to do on that day. But it's not a whole day's worth.
Yeah.
It's maybe an hour and a half's worth.
Yeah.
If that.
Yes.
And then sometimes it becomes longer.
Yeah. I mean, mine's mostly smaller.
Yeah.
Chunks like that. Yeah.
But when we were talking earlier, I was quite impressed by that you're still sitting having a meeting with yourself, even when nothing's coming.
Even when nothing's happening. I heard that. Where did I hear that? It's not my idea. I heard that on a podcast somewhere.
Yeah.
Just turn up, and if you can't manage to sit for very long, then don't make it very long. But just make the time and sit with nothing going on. And you've marked, I suppose you're marking your intention, I guess, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's doing.
Well, it's setting up the opportunity for something to come, which means it's more likely, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I'm also kind of struck by this the conversation from the point of view of a mindfulness teacher. There's a lot of self-criticism implicit in what we've been saying about our creative practice and expectations. That if I write down something in my notebook, it's going to be, I can't remember your words, but it was quite derogatory what you said about it.
Very trite, or
yeah, very trite,
yes,
very trite, yeah. So and I'm just thinking about, you know, if it was a child doing that, you wouldn't say that's very trite, would you? You'd say, well done. Yeah.
It's there.
Let's do
It's
it again.
just
You know, let's do it again tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of lead into a question about you. So you do breathing and yoga and meditation. Is that right? And do you have any thoughts about what that brings to your practice?
It's sort of what it's brought to my life, really. And I mean, I don't even know if I'm doing any of them in the right way. So it's just my combination of whatever they are.
Yeah.
And I feel very embarrassed if I was to share what I do. I'm sure everybody could pick holes in it, but it's working for me. And I think what I've found, or what it's given me time to find, is the benefits of small steps.
Thank you to Ali Williams and to Billy Mowbray for the music.